Chapter 4 Independence. Text 1. The siddhis, powers, are attained by birth, chemical means, power of words, mortification, or concentration. Sometimes a man is born with the siddhis, powers, of course, those he had earned in his previous incarnation. This time he is born, as it were, to enjoy the fruits of them. It is said of Kapila, the great father of the Sankhya philosophy, that he was born Siddha, which means literally a man who has attained to success. The yogis claim that these powers can be gained by chemical means. All of you know that chemistry originally began as alchemy. Men went in search of the philosopher's stone and elixirs of life and so forth. In India, there was a sect called the Rasayanas. Their idea was that ideality, knowledge, spirituality, and religion were all very right, but that the body was the only instrument by which to attain to all these. If the body came to an end every now and then, it would take so much more time to attain to the goal. For instance, a man wants to practice yoga or wants to become spiritual. Before he has advanced very far, he dies. Then he takes another body and begins again, then dies, and so on. In this way, much time will be lost in dying and being born again. If the body could be made strong and perfect so that it would get rid of birth and death, we should have so much more time to become spiritual. So these Rasayanas say, first make the body very strong. They claim that this body can be made immortal. Their idea is that if the mind manufactures the body, and if it be true that each mind is only one outlet of the infinite energy, then there should be no limit to each outlet getting any amount of power from outside. Why is it impossible to keep our bodies all the time? We have to manufacture all the bodies that we ever have. As soon as this body dies, we shall have to manufacture another. If we can do that, why cannot we just here and now do it without getting out of the present body? The theory is perfectly correct. If it is possible that we live after death and make other bodies, why is it impossible that we should have the power of making bodies here without entirely dissolving this body, simply changing it continually? They also thought that in mercury and in sulfur was hidden the most powerful power, and that by certain preparations of these, a man could keep the body as long as he liked. Others believed that certain drugs could bring power, such as flying through air. Many of the most wonderful medicines of the present day we owe to the Rasayanas, notably the use of metals in medicine. Certain sects of yogis claim that many of their principal teachers are still living in their old bodies. Patanjali, the great authority of yoga, does not deny this. The power of words. There are certain sacred words called mantras, which have power when repeated under proper conditions to produce these extraordinary powers. We are living in the midst of such a mass of miracles, day and night, that we do not think anything of them. There is no limit to man's power, the power of words and the power of mind. Mortification. You find that in every religion, mortification and asceticism has been practiced. In these religious conceptions, the Hindus always go to the extremes. You will find men with their hands up all their lives until their hands wither and die. Men keep standing day and night until their feet swell, and if they live, the legs become so stiff in this position that they can no more bend them, but have to stand all their lives. I once saw a man who had kept his hands raised in this way, and I asked him how it felt when he did it first. He said it was awful torture. It was such torture that he had to go to a river and put himself in the water, and that allayed the pain for a little while. After a month, he did not suffer much. Through such practices, powers, siddhis can be attained. Concentration. Concentration is samadhi, and that is yoga proper. That is the principal theme of this science, and it's the highest means. The preceding ones are only secondary, and we cannot attain to the highest through them. Samadhi is the means through which we can gain anything and everything, mental, moral, or spiritual. Text 2. The change into another species is by the filling in of nature. Patanjali has advanced the proposition that these powers come by birth, sometimes by chemical means or through mortification. He also admits that this body can be kept for any length of time. Now he goes on to state what is the cause of the change of the body into another species. He says this is done by the filling in of nature, which he explains in the next aphorism.